Hi, everybody. We are back, and I'm here with FIDE Master Terry Chapman and FIDE Master Peter Sowray. Thank you very much to Matthew Sadler and Sean Marsh just before. I think we'll be seeing Matthew again. I've lost track of my schedule now. Anyway, so I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself, as I don't have my notes exactly here. But Terry, I know, has won tournaments at junior and senior level, and also is the only amateur to have beaten Garry Kasparov. Do you want to say a bit more about your?
Yeah, it was at 2 pawns odds, Natasha. So I think that needs to be added up. Otherwise, it would just go beyond be believable. But it was still quite a highlight in my chess career.
Yeah, I remember that match, and it was very exciting, and actually also very interesting about how you guys would vary your game when there was a handicap involved.
Yes, the handicap was 2 pawns, but then the question came up straight away: which pawns? And it took us 6 months to agree what the setup should be, because obviously 2 center pawns is completely different from the A and H pawns.
Definitely.
So we had a lot of toing and proing on it, and eventually we played 4 different setups in the 4 games, which made for a lot of really interesting preparation. Yeah. And
Terry and Peter, you two, Peter, you've prepared a lot with Terry. You two, I think, have played training matches together. Is that?
Yes, we have. We not for a while, actually, Terry. So perhaps I heard Matthew just now talking about how rusty people are going to be when they come back to over the board chess. It might be a good idea if I played some games against somebody. So I'm hoping that. When play starts, I won't be in too bad a condition. But anyway, so playing some training games, I warmly recommend.
Definitely. Slower time limits. I mean, I was listening into that discussion too, and the challenge of getting back to classical chess, I mean, just bring it on as far as I'm concerned. Classical chess has something that the online world just can't replicate. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Soon as possible.
Okay, we are looking at the moment Frankie GM against Rocktroll. So Frankie GM is a junior player. I think Frankie Badaccioni, who is, I'm going to say, approximately 14 years old, against Rocktroll, who's Tristan Cox, who was the winner of the Brilliancy Prize at the British Online Championships last year, and Tristan will be joining us in the commentary box in a couple of hours.
Looking pretty good for Black, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black's just won, hasn't he? So it was a very unpleasant position for White. Couldn't move his queen anywhere. But this
no white squares, exposed king.
Yeah. He could actually, White could have gone rook d8 check, exchange rooks and played king g2, and he wouldn't have lost a piece immediately, but he'd never been able to move his king or his knight. So it was a nice game by
Then the black king would march up to g4 maybe and just win the knight like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm amazed people can play any sort of decent chess at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm watching this and my brain is moving so slowly.
Well, it's not just that they're
very impressed.
They also could have been playing all night, because this is a 24-hour event, and lots of the players have been playing throughout the night. What I'm going to do actually is see if we can see Keith, because I know he has been playing. Oh, actually, why don't we? Let's move on from that one, because Rocktroll was going to win that. I think it was pretty clear. So now we are looking at Zabro, who was playing definitely yesterday evening. I don't know if he's been playing throughout the night. And Tokma Chatham, we've just been chatting to. That is Grandmaster Matthew Sadler playing Black in this game.
And he's playing this Elephant Gambit. A whole book's been written on this recently, hasn't it?
Yes, and I think that's what inspired him to play it.
Well, I don't think he'll be playing this when he returns to over the board chess. I may be wrong, but here white can play bishop c4, bishop takes knight, queen h5. I think that's what you're meant to do, but we'll see. So white's having a bit of a think. This is an ideal opening, of course, for blitz games because, okay, well, this is a sort of more modest way to play. Who is white? White must be a strong player as well, I guess.
I don't know who that is. Zabro. Yeah, not sure who that is. But they were playing yesterday as well. So how are they? Yeah, I mean, they're doing well. They've got over 100 points in the arena already.
Right.
So castle's queenside against castle's kingside. So we could see. I imagine we're going to see Matthew launching an attack on the queenside very soon.
Well, a lot of the game is going to revolve around this pawn on e4, which is really getting in the way of white's pieces cooperating. If that pawn stays on the board, I quite like black.
Yeah. It's hard to see it being removed.
No, can't attack it very much. Oh, that's a bit greedy.
Instant decision, wasn't it, by Matthew there?
Bit greedy there.
I didn't know Matthew was a pawn grabber. Good heavens.
Well, I suppose once you've played the gambit, you then quite like being a pawn up instead of a pawn down, if you get the chance.
That's such a surprising move. I suppose he feels his king is very safe with that piece constellation around it.
Well, possibly, but this d pawn is beginning to be a feature, isn't it?
Yeah, Matthew's now giving up the exchange, getting a pawn for it, but removing that dangerous d pawn. But also, it opens up this b file, so that gives.
Yeah.
The problem black has is these three minor pieces are not perfectly placed to support an attack down the b file, are they?
No,
really?
I agree. That especially
Well,
this. Yes, knight's coming back into play now.
So maybe queen d6 just to try and relieve some pressure.
That black squared bishop looks like a long-term asset, though, doesn't it?
Does. This is a very difficult game to call, actually. Who would you rather be, Natasha, white or black? Who's the money on?
Well, I'm gonna put money on black to win, but that probably includes who the players are as well.
Yes. Now this has gone a bit wrong for white because bishop b. How's bishop b3 a4?
Yeah, a4, and the bishop can't move.
I don't think the get result. Oh, cheeky, but he can just ignore that. I think.
Yeah, because now we'll take again with check one of these pawns, and then.
Yes, and maybe e3 is coming in a moment to open up the diagonal for the other bishop. And there's a mate on b2.
That's the end.
Yeah. This is it. It's maiden one.
That was a good game, wasn't it? That was
very
terrific.
good. Yeah,
if the standard of chess is like that after you've been playing all night, I'm very impressed.
All right. Shall we see Danny Gormali?
Yes, please.
So Danny Oh, this is interesting because this is Danny Gormali against Shreyas Royal. And Shreyas, I do know, has been playing most of the night, or at least he put a Twitter post at 2 a.m. saying he's planning to play 20 of the 24 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
And so Shreyas, he's
and Danny is white, isn't he?
Grandmaster Danny Gormali is white. Shreyas black. Shreyas has been playing. He played some matches, I think, on the Chess Kid, some UK junior against US junior matches a little while back.
So we're now going to be reaching.
It's a good move.
This looks fine for black, doesn't it? Because
Danny was apparently, said last night he was going to get a good sleep and then beat everyone who's been playing all night.
I think that's probably a good plan, isn't it? But whether it's going to work here, I rather doubt. Now, if d4 comes, then the diagonal's nicely opened up. Or maybe rook e8.
Oh, why was that? Why that check?
Not sure about that exchange.
So how do you rate this? So white has 1, 2, 3, 4 is equal in material. Although that the black's bishop does look pretty good to me.
Well, it all depends on this e pawn. If that starts creating serious aggravation, then white can be winning. But if it doesn't,
well done,
in the long run, black is doing rather well. White can't queen this pawn, but black can't get to it very easily. Maybe he's got to try and bring his king back round towards d6. But it's all a bit fraught.
So we might see king coming here and here, maybe.
Now, for instance, if d4,
at the moment.
then knight a4 check. Take it, and black's king is not entirely safe here. So he's got to keep this pawn where it is, and Danny is trying to force that pawn to advance. I think Danny wants d4 to happen.
So white could think about taking this pawn now.
Yes.
Now
that's a serious problem. So can he just take on b3? If he can,
gone wrong for white, surely.
Yes, it's gone wrong for white.
Too ambitious. You should have taken a pawn on d5.
Now it's black that's a pawn up.
The position's completely winning for black.
a4, a3, etc. Is this?
So is Shreyas?
But the knight is such a tricky piece at blitz. How much time have they got left? Oh, enough, probably.
Enough.
Enough.
Better king position, outside pass pawn, active rook, bishop for knight, an extra pass pawn for good measure in case you leave one on by mistake. It's looking good.
Still, it can be tricky, like 1 minute, because there's no increment.
Of course, it always is. It's amazing, isn't it?
How would you do it?
I think Danny should have stayed up all night. It would have gone better, wouldn't it?
He was up pretty late. Actually,
so what happens? People play for as long as they like, do they?
Yeah, as much or as you like within the 24 hours. So it's going from UK time 5 p.m. on Saturday.
That was a good game by black.
Yes, well done, Shreyas. And by the way, the tournament standings, Shreyas is actually in second place. So Grandmaster Keith Arkle is in the lead with a massive 503 points. Shreyas 373. and Danny Wissey is there in 7th on 226.
Right.
Let's see what else. Okay, let's see another couple of junior players. Whimsical Jam against Pal Rohan. Okay, if that's just a piece, we might move.
That's over.
Yeah, that's just a piece.
That's not exciting, really, is it?
Okay, so let's see. Let's see this one.
Oh wow, that is exciting.
Hi, Thomas. Hi, how are you doing? You haven't played all night. I saw you. I saw your tweet. That it was still pretty late, wasn't it? And you said you were going to bed. So you. I guess you're back, fresh. We'll check in on your game in a minute, Tom. So Tom Rendell is back. Oh, yeah. Is your handle just Tom Rendell? Nobody's handle's just their name, are they? It's never like that. Okay, so black here is Chris Davison. Who? I mean,
Black
we
has a winning attack here.
For, the Barbican team.
Black just sacrifice for rook.
Okay.
Pawn takes. Pawn takes check. Pawn takes rook. Rook takes queen check. Didn't go for it.
So 1, 2. So white is exchanged down as well as yes. So bishop d4 is coming maybe, and ooh.
I'm surprised Black didn't sacrifice for rook, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
This knight on g1, it stops the queen doing check. That's the best you can say for it, isn't it? But
yeah, and that queen and pawn immobilized for black rooks quite effectively.
It's not so easy for black.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about what black did in the last pre-moves or so. It's just chaos, of course. So who knows?
I mean, it's rather absurd to try and analyze a blitz game, but no, this is not so.
It's not, is it?
Obvious now. I'm not sure who's better now.
No.
I mean, probably black, but
it feels as though
I guess
white is going to bail out with a perpetual.
Well, black wants maybe g takes h5, then king h8, and attack down the g file.
Yeah.
But it's all somewhat double-edged.
T. Rendell is Thomas Rendell. We'll checking on him in just a second. So this must now be pretty good for black, right?
Yes, yes. I guess black can come
collect the pawn, rooks.
Yeah. Bring the king to white is fighting. There's knight h7 check. Yeah, but now.
Yeah, and that's the pawn's gone, so that must be a bit of a relief. But actually, black doesn't have many pawns left, so there's.
It's enough, though.
It's enough.
The white king position
the king is going to be in the wrong place, even just check Yes.
So that's completely
There's no way to save the A-pawn, and that will be
All right.
momentarily the end.
Well, let's see if
that
we
game was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
find Thomas Rendell.
Well played.
T. Rendell. Here we go. So Tom was just in the chat just now. And this was the Birds opening. I think we should see it from the start.
And is he one of the leaders of the tournament?
Tom, I don't think so, because I don't think he's been playing throughout. But let's see. We can see it's a good score, 176 he's got. But Keith has like 500. So Keith's got a big lead at the moment.
So black is a pawn down, but all his pieces are out, and it's not so easy maybe for white to coordinate. Maybe white plays knight e2 and knight f4. There needs to be maybe black has some compensation.
I think I'd prefer to be white. Yeah.
I would take black in blitz, I think.
Would you?
Who's Tom playing? Do we know?
No. Billy the Kid Fellows, 1678. Don't know who that is.
Yes. Well, now actually, this is clearly good for white, because he's a pawn up and he's got consolidated. 2
bishops as well.
Yeah.
And it was a shame to lose that duck squared bishop when the black squares on the king side was rather tender.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Tom will finish this off, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe now black should play. Now, Queen b5, for example, is.
Ooh, is that that's a fork, isn't it?
Then you force bishop f3 and.
Yeah.
But this is a pawn up, and white has got
forward. Yeah, massive advantage. Yeah.
I think.
You're going to do c5 and try and hit
c5, and will happen, and
we'll just double up rooks first, maybe. Yeah. So I guess this is Tom's first game of the morning. Don't know if Billy has been playing throughout the night.
So what happens? You log on and you're just paired randomly, are you, Natasha?
Yeah, it's like it's an arena tournament. So yeah, you'll be paired with basically someone who's also waiting for a game at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can join already. So you can, in fact, if I do /tournament.
Have you played? Have you played any games?
Me? Yeah, I've played just a few. My son was actually playing last night as well. He's more a bridge player than a chess player, but he had a very good game against Keith Arkle and actually had a forced win at one point, but didn't see it. Yeah, it was amazing.
Splendid. Well, I think we can rely on Tom to wrap this one up.
Yes, all righty. Let's see.
Well played. Unlucky Billy the Kid.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the standings. So Keith Arkle there, still playing in the lead with 507. Killer M is Shreyas, Isolani at home, Nat Paul, Connie Monster. We saw some games yesterday. Kilcroot is Danny Gormally, and Rock Troll is Tristan Cox. Then there's David Howell, who had a massive lead yesterday, and then retired at, I don't know, maybe 10 o'clock or something. And there's Tom Rendell in 10th at the moment.
So Keith has got an enormous lead. He can probably even afford to go.
We'll see this. Let's see this one. So this is Keith against Danny again. The last time we saw it was Danny Gormally Grandmaster was white against Keith Arkle, and actually Danny managed an attack and managed to win that game. So now we are seeing Keith Arkle as white, and Danny.
So Keith is the exchange up, but this knight is causing havoc. So looks quite well. Maybe Rook B3 and it's just okay.
So just defend. Oh, Queen B3, he's gone.
Okay.
So that C pawn could become strong, couldn't it?
It certainly could.
Well, the problem is more what's white moving here? Rook E1's.
Because haven't you got knight D2? Oh no, there's pins all over the place.
There are lots of pins, but
lots of things going on. You could play Queen takes F3. You could play Queen takes F3 and knight D2 check and fork. If it's just an exchange.
Hey. Yeah, but that might still be winning for. Was that winning? Was that winning for?
Hi, Weed. You can join. Yes, anyone can join. What you have to do is first join the club. So you click on the second link there, and then join the tournament. But it is open to all and free of charge. If you do make a donation, it is in aid of the British Red Cross. And then you're also in contention for some of the very nice prizes that are on offer here as well.
Now take the knight now.
Oh yes, we've got this trick now. It's now you can do.
Black must have seen it and repeated the position.
And here, yeah, forking the king and queen.
And then C2 wins a rook.
Well,
no, it's not going for it.
Ooh, that one's painful, is it? Is that painful?
Looks a bit painful.
So
because if the king goes back,
King G1, Queen F3, Rook E3. Well, he can take with the pawn as well, but.
So now what? Can we push our C pawn?
You can. You may also want to play complicated position. Rook F4 is a resource for white.
Or Rook C4.
Rook C4.
Yeah. Keep that pawn under lock and key. Who was it? Who wrote about keeping passed pawns under lock?
Nimzovich, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think so.
But now Queen D1 is not.
Queen D5, Danny plays.
That's a rather better move, isn't it?
So Keith can't take on C5 just because a queen takes B3.
That's it, isn't it?
He can't take on C2 either because the rook's on prise.
The queen.
So that is the end of the world. Yes, well done. That was very nice, wasn't it?
Nice game there by Danny.
Good energetic game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Danny gets 3 points for that. How does it work? Do you know?
Depends on, so your first game you get 1, I think. No, maybe 2, and then if you are winning 2 in a row, it's 3 points, and then 3 in a row, 4 points, and then I think it sticks at 4 after that.
Okay. Wow, what are we watching now? This looks exciting.
This is Thomas Rendell against Liam Bellwood. Now, Liam is one of our regulars in the chat, and Thomas we just saw in the chat just now. And
well, come on, Liam, you've got whose king's going to be more exposed here?
Yeah. Now, what is Black going to do with the king? Actually, so I guess.
Well, maybe Bishop D7, Queen C7, and Castle Queenside.
Yeah. So we're expecting a game with opposite side castling maybe here.
But white can stop that with bishop g6. But
yeah,
how's white going to coordinate some of his other pieces? That's the problem. Now that is brave. Maybe good, but it's certainly brave. Actually, maybe good. So Thomas maybe will play, he will want to move his knight somewhere so he can play queen h4. So I guess the first move he looks at is knight e4. Followed by queen h4. No, I was completely wrong, folks.
It's strange to move that rook off the h file, isn't it?
Whether it does.
There's a point to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Maybe white will now use the h file. You could always swing it across if you want to at some point.
I think white, I mean, it's impossible to be sure, but I think white might be doing well here.
Mm.
If black hasn't got any attacking chances, this can turn very quickly in white's favor.
Yeah. Is black threatening?
It's the black king position, which is
yeah,
almost worse than white's, isn't it?
for sure. I was just looking at knight d4 for black. Are there any possibilities with that?
Yeah. So white moves. So white's problem is he can't easily bring his queen into the game. That's what's holding him back here.
Ah, so Tom's bringing his knight round.
Tom is white, is he? Or
Tom's white, yeah, and Liam's
white.
Queen e7 now? Is that them?
Yeah.
c7.
Colin was suggesting queen b6. There's a similar sort of thing.
Yeah. Now this has become a rather
Morning, Colin.
game, isn't it? But
So what do you think, Peter? Does black have compensation for the pawn?
yeah, I think so. I mean, for instance, here maybe bishop e8 and try and play queen g7 and bishop h5.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, black's king is not going to be safe either. But
now Liam is going for this knight takes d4.
yeah, but my suspicion is there'll be a disaster here.
Yeah, because that c file is very open, isn't it? Hi, knights to her. So what do you think? Does rook c1 help for white?
Well, I think you start with rooks.
Wow.
Now what's that for?
I think he's going to go rook c1 next.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good move, isn't it? That's a good move. That is pretty unpleasant.
Very nice knight takes e6.
Mm.
Rather than rook c1, bishop c6, and then knight e6. It was a good touch.
Well played.
Yeah.
I am Thomas Rendell. Okay, and so let's look at
Apologies, everyone. My cat's decided he wants to watch. But,
Oh, that's fine. Your cat's perfectly welcome to watch.
He'll probably commentate rather more coherently than I will. Come on, you
as long
can
as he makes his donation, Peter, to the British Red Cross.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, is everybody donating huge amounts of money? I hope so.
Yes, please do donate to, it's the British Red Cross, and it's their global coronavirus appeal. And so all the players are playing this 24-hour arena, and we are doing commentary also for almost all the 24 hours to raise funds for the British Red Cross. So actually the players we're seeing here, Kausina is actually streaming and playing for the full 24 hours, which is an incredible effort.
Wow.
Yeah, and so so we left him at 2 a.m. last night, and just actually he texted me saying, who was I meant to be raiding at like about 7? Yes, so he's still going strong and in great humor, actually. And so he is now playing, Ben Gruff is Green Becker, who is a chess journalist and author, and also very kindly donated some book prizes for this event.
Well, 24 hours is a pretty good effort.
Yeah.
So this is like some exchange French position where White has got to, if White can take on b7, maybe he'll have something, but maybe. It's not so easy, this position for Black, because the bishop on e7 doesn't really control, well, it doesn't control any white squares. Now White has White's going
to try and line up.
He was going to try and line. I don't think that's realistic, though. Now,
Weed, you'll have to let us know what your chess.com name is, and we'll check in on your game in just a moment.
There's not much going on in this position, is there?
Yeah.
Well, knight e4 and might come. I think Black has got a little bit more active in the last few moves. So.
I think Weed must be Weed. Okay, we'll check Weed, who I think has newly joined the tournament from the chat. Let's have a look.
Wow.
Oh.
Weed, we missed your moment, but bad luck. Bad luck.
Okay. Shall we see Keith Arkle against Netley?
So this is, I think is this Queen's Gambit Chigorin? And this is, Keith is just not doing anything to try and refute this opening, just developing some pieces and hoping that the pressure on the c-file is going to give him something.
He's completely playing his normal stuff. He's got his pawn structure he likes, which is these 5.
Yeah. And he can move very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Now,
and use very little energy, which I guess is important given how much he's playing.
Yeah, he's going to play 20 hours.
He's had this pawn structure so many times that he can play it blindfold.
Yeah. Okay, Netley's taken quite an aggressive stance against the pawn structure. And I think Keith will do a kind of solid positional approach. I suppose you can line up on the c-file, but also now this king side's quite open.
Well, he has lost a pawn. So,
yes, he has. I was thinking there might be some tactics, but against that knight on d4, but
That's the d pawn's rather important for white as well. So
yeah,
something has gone
I'm
wrong, I think.
okay, but the white is threatening
no,
us. This kind of move would be lovely if you can get it in.
Well,
I think this solves the problem, doesn't it?
G6 is possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the pawn back.
Yeah, and
Keith will love that pawn structure.
he'll just know he loves this. He'll be well away with this one.
Well, he will, but I'm objectively, I'm not convinced. Black is going to get active too.
Can't we take this one? No.
Not sure.
Not
sure who's better here.
Oh, really? Aren't black's pawns weaker than white's?
But it really depends on the activity of the rooks here. You see, that's quite a clever move. He wants rook g8.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that is clever. If rook g8, king h6 is rook h6 check is gonna.
Yes, but it isn't really pawns that matter so much here. It's more how active your pieces are. So now, for instance, if he takes that and plays,
yeah, I'll write in the chat. So you've got 5 minutes for all your moves.
it's gone a bit wrong.
No time is added on. If you use up those 5 minutes, it'll be lost. If your opponent uses up the 5 minutes, you will win. And you, yeah. So it's basically that's going to be the same for everyone. So 5 minutes against 5 minutes for all the games in this arena. So here, actually, Keith's built up quite a big time advantage. 4 minutes, 1 minute. Oh, and a big pawn advantage as well. A big advantage in the number of pawns as well.
Yeah, I think yes, fair enough. But black had some chances in that game too, and he did a good thing pushing those kingside pawns, trying to get some counterplay. Just didn't quite work.
Yes.
Keith solved his problem on G2. Keith solved the G2 problem very quickly, didn't he, with rook d6, and then maneuvering the rook to g5 and swapping one pair of rooks was quite a quick solution, considering that he's been playing all night and he's only used 1 minute on his clock.
Yeah, the winner gets the rest.
Quite impressive, because if I'd been white, I would have been scared to death of the black activity there.
I'm just looking to see if we can see Weed playing again. Oh yes, there's Weed. Weed against Netley. Let's have a quick check in on Weed, who's just joined the tournament.
Now, Weed, that's brave. Not sure it's wise, but
we will see.
You've obviously got something in mind.
We have just Bassman plays moves like that. G4 and G5 quite early.
Well, they're very fashionable moves in general, aren't they, nowadays?
Yeah. Hi.
Maybe not in that position.
Okay. So Netley is taking the pawn, and I guess Weed'll put either a pawn or a piece in the way. So maybe bishop or knight in the way to defend this attack on the queen. And then we might see white maybe coming out with the queen and doing a castle. Oh, white's exchanging off. Yeah.
Wow. Now that's another brave move, Weed.
There we go.
Your king is going to have some difficulty in this game.
Yeah, that's probably a very wise idea there, moving the king back, and now the queens are off, so that should reduce the attacking power. Otherwise, but white's managed a very clever move to castle with a gain of time and a check against the black king.
Percy Hepworth, I do remember. I remember it well.
Okay. So
I fear, Weed, this isn't going to end well, but I may be wrong. Lily Dawson, happy birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Okay, let's see. Is Lily playing at the moment? I can see that Colin's playing.
There's no entry fee to play, is there?
No, there's no entry fee. It's completely free.
Just a request to give donation.
Yeah, if you do give a donation, then you're online for the prizes.
Find the link for British Red Cross donations and.
Yes, I'll do that. Okay, we're checking in on Matthew against Shreyas Royale against Matthew Sadler.
So is this another one of Matthew's dodgy gambits? Matthew is black, is he?
Yeah. Yes. So Shreyas we just saw playing. Who was he playing a moment ago? I can't remember. One of
playing Danny.
He was playing Danny. Yeah, one of England's talented juniors, and he's playing against top grandmaster Matthew Sadler.
So black has 2 bishops, the lead in development and attacking chances. That should be enough compensation.
Well, you put the white knight on c1, and then what? So, so white wants to stop a4, but that rook is kind of artificially placed.
Yeah. How to take advantage of it is the question. Perhaps Matthew's going to show us. I would worry for my back rank if I was white.
Yeah.
Not easy.
But maybe white is going to put a knight on d4 and swap some pieces off and say I'm a pawn up, and as long as white doesn't lose anything tactically, he'll have the long-term advantage, won't he? So
g5 here.
g5. That's a splendid move. Where's the rook going to go?
That was my question.
Well, I guess it's, well, the only logical move then, I think, is rook a4.
Then b5?
And then rook a5.
Yeah.
Something, but
I don't think there's a quieter move, just dropping back. Now, guys, we're going to have to start winding up in just a moment. Let's see the rest of this game. Joining us, I will do again a quick switch on and off, but joining us after the very short break will be Women's FIDE Master Canwell Bhatia, and also Grandmaster Nigel Short in just a moment. In just a moment. Okay.
Well, Natasha, Terry, thank you. That was a joy.
I think I will do my reboot now because I can't hear anybody in the stream right this second. So thank you very much, Peter Sowray and Terry Chapman, for commentating. I'm going to have a very quick break, log on and off, and then we will see you all shortly. Thank you all for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.